Welcome, everyone. Michael Lazaroff from Signature Cruise Experiences. Welcome to the second half of our David Foster Get Ready webinar. It has been about 17, 15, 16 days since our last one. You guys have been terrific, patient, all signed up to learn more. We're going to start with Embarkation Day. But we also will be able to answer questions about items that we talked about the last time. We have those questions logged in. Many of them have already been responded to directly, but we kept some of the general questions for everyone to look at. I'm now going to turn this over to Aubrey Pavlik, and she's going to walk you through Embarkation Day, and I will be back after that.
Thanks so much, Michael. Welcome back, everybody. We are looking forward to having you on board next month. As this slide shows, we are now 30 days until embarkation. That's very exciting. On our last webinar, we actually walked through the entire online check-in process. Please feel free to go to our booked guest page on the website and check out that webinar if you have specific questions or want to go through the step-by-step process of online check-in. Right now, I will tell you, it's pretty simple. If you go to celebritycruises.com/booked and you log into your Celebrity Cruises account or you create an account, it will take you through a very step-by-step process. It should take you about 10 to 15 minutes for each of the people in your stateroom to complete the process. We highly recommend doing the online check-in process. Online check-in in general is required for all of our guests. You will incur a delay if you don't complete either the online check-in or the mobile app check-in. So again, we highly recommend doing it in the comfort of your own home. It only takes 10 to 15 minutes, and it will really lead you through the process step by step. Now that it is 30 days prior to the cruise, the Celebrity Cruises luggage tags are available to those guests who do complete online check-in. So that is one other reason we highly recommend doing that online check-in. They are available to you to print within your Celebrity Cruises account all the way until January 12th. So about 3 days prior to the cruise, that does shut down for you. We recommend, if you've already completed the online check-in process, to do that now as soon as possible so you have it done. If you have not yet completed the online check-in process, you can complete the online check-in, and right at the end you'll print your express pass, which is your boarding pass, and then you can print your Celebrity Cruises luggage tags. These are really important for getting your luggage to your stateroom. It's what all of the celebrity staff and crew are used to seeing. It really identifies specifically where your luggage needs to go. Obviously, nobody wants lost luggage on embarkation day. So we do highly recommend printing these out as soon as you are able to get that completed. On this page, you will see a screenshot of clear reusable luggage tags. These ones are from Amazon. They're very inexpensive. They help provide a little bit of level of sturdiness to that luggage tag. Once you print out the luggage tags via the Celebrity Cruises platform, you can go ahead and slip these in, and then you can attach them to each piece of luggage that you have. Very important to attach the luggage tag prior to giving your luggage over to the porters on embarkation day. And unfortunately, the luggage tags from Celebrity are not available within the mobile app. So it is one reason why we recommend doing the online check-in as opposed to the mobile check-in. On embarkation day, so we are at Terminal 25. The cruise terminal will open at 11 a.m. and everybody needs to be in the terminal prior to 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. is really kind of the cutoff for anybody who is coming a little bit later in the day for embarkation. Again, we're at Terminal 25. You will see signage for Celebrity Summit and or Terminal 25 If you're driving, there is a garage right close to there. And if you're taking a taxi or Uber, they should be able to follow the signage right there. During that online check-in process, you will be asked to select a terminal arrival time, and these are available in half an hour windows for you. Again, starting at 11 a.m. and then the last slot ends at 3 p.m. This is just the time that you plan to arrive to the terminal. So we recommend taking into account your travel time. If you're getting into the Fort Lauderdale area that morning, just make sure that you have enough time to grab your bags, make sure that you're getting to the terminal during that kind of allocated time that you selected during your online check-in process. If you arrive outside of that time, you might incur a little bit of a delay. And then in your hand, you're going to want a few very important items. This would be your passport, your express pass. So that's the piece, the boarding pass piece that you get once you've completed your online check-in. We highly recommend actually having that printed out as opposed to just on your phone in case your phone dies, you can't find it, etc. on embarkation day. You will also want any medications that you might need during your embarkation day and or the cruise in general, and any personal items. Your luggage will not be guaranteed to your stateroom until about 6 p.m. So if there's anything that you need within those first couple of hours, we recommend keeping that on you rather than putting that in your packed luggage. So again, once you head and arrive to Terminal 25, there are going to be a number of porters who are right outside of the terminal and ready to assist you. You're going to make sure that you have your celebrity luggage tags attached to each piece of luggage that you're going to hand over to them. Again, if you choose to purchase that reusable luggage tag, make sure that you have that in that piece so that it doesn't come off. And then you're going to hand over all of that luggage that you don't necessarily need. So obviously keep those personal items with you if you're planning to bring, any of those personal items with you on board. All of your kind of larger packed luggage, you could go ahead and turn that over to the porters who are available to you. And we do highly recommend tipping those porters. $10 approximately is what our recommendation is. Per bag. Yes, that's great. Thank you, Michael. Per bag. These people are the people who are really essentially responsible for getting your luggage on board the ship and to your stateroom. So again, nobody wants to have their luggage lost or kind of deterred. So we do recommend tipping them as well. And finally, once you've done all of that, you're going to go ahead and enter the terminal, complete your registration. If you did complete the online registration or the mobile app registration, that is going to be a very quick process for you. A couple of easy questions, and then you'll be on your way, ready to board the ship. If you did not complete your online check-in or your mobile app check-in, you will have a little bit longer of a process right there in the terminal. Once you board the ship, the staterooms will be ready for you to go to straight away. So your cruise identification card, which is going to be your room key, your charge card, etc., those will be in the mail slot right outside of your stateroom. So we do recommend going right to your stateroom as you're getting on board the ship. You can go ahead and put any of those personal items that you don't want to walk around the ship with, a backpack, any of those loose items that you have down. You can freshen up, use the restroom. They will likely be putting some finishing touches on your stateroom, but it's absolutely ready for you to go in and to utilize, put down any of that extra items that you have. And then you can go out and explore the ship a little bit more. As I mentioned before, your luggage should be at your stateroom by 6 p.m. If you arrive a little bit earlier to the terminal, if you have one of those earlier time slots, typically you're going to get it well before 6 p.m. But 6 p.m. is kind of the last time that your luggage would be arriving to your stateroom by. And as you're boarding the ship, you're going to be receiving a few very important documents. So the first is the souvenir program that we give you, and this is a beautiful keepsake. It will have a lot about David Foster, the lineup that he has hand selected for you, their photos, their bios, and a little bit about the cruise in general, including the itinerary and just kind of what you can expect on board. Again, this is a keepsake for you. It does not include the daily program. You will be receiving that into your stateroom on embarkation, and then each night you will receive the next day's daily program, which includes that schedule for you. You will also receive a lanyard as you are boarding the ship, and that lanyard conveniently may hold the cruise identification card that is very important for you to have. So it can go right around your neck so that you make sure that you are not going anywhere without that cruise ID. Again, that is your room key. That is anything that you want to purchase on board, you will be using that same key card for. You will also receive a welcome letter that upon embarkation, that really has some useful tips, tricks, helpful information for right when you board the ship. It will go over dining a little bit. It will talk a little bit about the seating procedures in general and specifically in the main theater on board. Give you a little bit of an overview of what's available to you right as you board the ship, what bars are available, where you can eat lunch. We'll talk a little bit about that as we move forward here as well. But again, a lot of useful, helpful kind of reminder information as you're boarding the ship. And last but not least, 10 days prior to the cruise, we will be sending you an email, and that will have all of the information about David Foster, the Hitman Cruise app. So this is an app that we are giving you. It is separate and different from the Celebrity Cruises app, but this actually has all of the performance information, performance schedule, each event that you will be seeing on board the ship. And that is available starting at 10 days prior to the cruise. Again, we will email you with information as far as how to download that and kind of how best practices to use it. But on that embarkation day, we will also have a learning session at 2:30 p.m. in Cellar Masters on board. So if you're unsure of how the best way to use the app, if you haven't used apps in general, we can assist you a little bit there. So once you get on board too, most people tend to want to get a bite to eat. Lunch is available to you as soon as you board the ship. The Ocean View Cafe, which is on deck 10, that's the main buffet for the ship. That is open for lunch beginning at 11:30 a.m. Anyone can go there, has a nice big spread available to every guest on board. Aqua and concierge class guests will have a private lunch available to them from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And that's in the Cosmopolitan Restaurant Deck 5. That's the main restaurant in the aft of the ship. And then anyone who is in a suite also has a private lunch available to them from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And that is in Lumine on Deck 4 in the aft of the ship. If you were not able to complete dining reservations, package purchases, so Wi-Fi, spa reservations, shore excursions, the time between boarding the ship and our sail away party is really a good time to do so. If you were with us on our last webinar, we did talk a little bit about we highly recommend taking a look at that pre-cruise planner prior to getting on board the ship. You're going to save time, you're going to save money. Again, if you weren't able to make those purchases, or if there's a purchase that you perhaps forgot to make during that time frame, you still can make them once you get on board. As you'll see here, they are available to you in a variety of different areas on the ship. There's not really a central location that you can go to make all those different purchases, which is part of the reason that we do recommend making them in the pre-cruise planner. However, if you didn't make them, you are welcome to do so as you board the ship as well. A couple of other important things for embarkation day once you get on board. The mandatory safety procedure. Everybody must complete this process prior to us taking off. So it's pretty easy now. You can watch the safety demonstration video either in your stateroom on the TV there, or you can do it within the Celebrity Cruises app. And then after you do that, you're going to go ahead and proceed to your muster station. So this is listed on your cruise identification card that you get on embarkation day. It's also on the back of your stateroom door. If you're unfamiliar with exactly where that location is, there are plenty of Celebrity Cruises staff members who are around and able to direct you to the exact location of that muster station. Just let them see your celebrity or your cruise identification card, and they'll be happy to assist you in getting to that location. Once you get to your muster station, there will be a few different Celebrity Cruises team members that are available to you. They're going to scan your card, make sure that you did watch the video, answer any sort of safety questions that you do have, and then you're complete. So we recommend doing that again, going to your stateroom, grabbing your key card, getting your items into your stateroom, and then going and doing the safety procedure right away so that you can just get it out of the way and you can start relaxing and enjoying your vacation. And then after you complete all that, this is really a nice time to explore the ship. So if this is your first time on the Celebrity Summit, or if you have not been for a few years, it's a nice time to refamiliarize yourself with the ship. You can go take a look at all the different entertainment venues that there are, the dining venues. You can relax by the pool and have a drink if that's what you'd like. Um, Again, there's a variety of different places that you can go look, or you can take a nap if you wish to do so as well before the party really gets started. And we'll have the sail away party at 4 p.m. right on the pool deck. So it's kind of the calm before we get the party started here. And that is it for me. I'm going to turn it back over to Michael, who will give you some takeaways.
Yeah. Aubrey, thank you very, very much. We are really excited about this cruise. It is our first cruise with David Foster as a host. He sailed with us twice before as a guest, a performing guest, and we're just really excited to watch him do his magic for 5 days. He was on the sidelines kind of for the first couple. So let me just give you just a couple of takeaways, things that I think are very important. First of all, one other thing is when you do go to your room the first time, regardless, every room has a safe, and that's a really good place to put all of your valuables and your passports and stuff right away so that you're not walking around the ship with things like that. And candidly, that's the first thing that I do when I get on the ship is I go to my room and I put everything in the safe that I think belongs there. The other takeaway is make sure that your passport is valid and that you know where it is. Back in the old days, we used to be able to finesse if somebody did not have their passport, and I want to reemphasize that was back in the old days. Very, very difficult now. So make sure that you have your passport. Complete your online check-in as soon as possible, which is now. It just saves time and energy. Complete your purchases, as Aubrey indicated. There is no central place on the ship. It is much better to be sitting at your kitchen table with a glass of wine and buying everything rather than running around the ship. Be alert to the announcement of the performance schedule. We're going to tell you what that is because you're going to want to plan your days. You're going to want to look at the various performances. A cruise that has a 2,000 people like this, we do have our main shows which are outlined, but other things are happening simultaneously. We can't have a linear cruise where everybody goes from one event to the next event to the next event. So there are some choices that you're going to need to make as to I'm gonna go see this or I'm gonna see half of this, and folks that come on the ship having really thoroughly studied the a performance schedule usually get to see more of the things that they wanted to see. The last thing that you want to do is to wake up on a morning four to find out that the item that you really wanted to see was on day two in the afternoon. So really spend some time doing that. Um, Tuesday, can we?
We sail.
Yeah,
Oh,
It's the 15th and it's a Friday.
it's a Friday. We sail on a Friday. Um, Fridays are busy traffic wise. Give yourself lots of time to get to the terminal, somewhere between giving yourself lots of time and also hitting that time arrival time that you selected. Just be careful about that. Except for formal night, the cruise is casual. It's and a formal night is not coats and ties and tuxedos and cocktail dresses and things like that. It is just a little bit more upscale, something that you might wear for a dinner and a show going out. But the most important thing for the 5 days is to be comfortable, particularly with your shoes. Even if all that you do is just go from your cabin to eat to the various shows, you're going to wind up walking way more than you probably do normally. And so having comfortable shoes becomes really important. Um, Irons and steamers are not allowed on the ship. Um, so when you are selecting your wardrobe for the cruise, try to get things that do not require pressing. I also will give you my speech on the ship dry cleaning. It's very slow, it's very expensive, and it's not very good. I would not send anything that I really cherished to be laundered or pressed. So choose your wardrobe accordingly. Okay. Um, if you're planning on dining with a particular group of guests, be sure to promptly submit your group dining information that is due in a couple of weeks. That way we can accommodate how you want to dine with whom you want to dine. It also gives us time. So and so writes in that these six people want to dine with them. Well, we make sure that we contact those six people that they have the same understanding. Once in a while, there is a little confusion. When you get to the ship, try as hard as you can to leave your work, your obligations, and your worries at home, and be sure to pack your smile, your a love of music, and most of all, your humanity. This is an interesting cruise for us. 82% of the people sailing on this cruise have not sailed with us before. That is, I cannot remember that being the case, except for maybe the first cruise, in which case it had been 100%. But most of our cruises, we have a huge number of a returning guest. So we are really excited about meeting a whole bunch of new people and showing you what Signature Cruise Experiences does. But one of the aspects that we absolutely foster and try to produce, interesting use of the word foster, is a real strong community. People treat each other on the ship with respect, inclusion. It's just a lovely place to be for 5 full days, and I cannot wait to see you guys. To that point,
We're
question.
going to take some
We're gonna
questions.
do some questions.
And I will preemptively thank you for the Q&A. The 15th is Thursday. It's not a Friday.
Okay, good, Thursday.
My apologies. We've gotten a handful of questions. You guys have answered several of them, but a
There's
couple
no
that
traffic on Thursdays.
yes. Other questions that came in a couple times. Do I need reservations for dinner?
No, there are obviously three main ways to have dinner. One is up in the Ocean View Cafe, which serves dinner, and that's more of a I mean, I can't
Buffet style, but it's more
buffet
stations
stations
than.
and and actually for dinner, most of the entrees that they offer are the same or a very similar entrees to what's in the main dining room. Then there is the main dining room, and obviously you can walk in
Absolutely.
whenever you want. Just please be mindful that half of you will have a red card, which means that your show starts around 8:30 or so. So most people finish their dinner prior to that time. If you have a blue card, that means that you're going to the first show, and most people go to dinner afterwards. And then there's a whole bunch um, private dining rooms, specialty dining rooms, and we do recommend you making reservations for those. Those have limited capacities, and because of the way that the shows work, obviously there'll be a rush around 5:30 and 6, and there'll be a rush around 9 o'clock. So you want to make a reservation there.
And those are available to make reservations in Celebrity's pre-cruise planner right now.
Mhm. Someone just asked if they paid their pass-through fees, which included gratuities, what other gratuities do they need to consider for the cruise?
Really none. There'll be a gratuity added when you purchase a drink, but that's embedded. You don't add that in. And then at the end of the cruise, the international form of saying thank you is the tip. Um, every person who works on that ship will be tipped pursuant to the use of the gratuities that we collected. You're under no obligation whatsoever to give any additional tips. We do, however, suggest that if you're a room steward in particular, or if every night you had the same server or something like that, somebody is done something very, very well, we we do tell you that it makes sense to tip. The Most of the employees working on the ship in those capacities, their base salary is relatively low, and so the tipping process really pays for most of their services. But we leave that totally up to you. Okay.
Okay, someone asked if I have a question on board, where do I go?
Well, you're welcome to visit our guest services desk. That is on deck 3. You will see the Signature Cruise Experience signage right above it. And that is if you have any questions in regard to the performance schedule, your reservation, items that you may have booked through us at Signature Cruise Experiences. If you have a question about your sink that's maybe not functioning properly or something that is specific to the ship, then you would need to go to the Celebrity Guest Services desk. But most of your questions are going to be answered by our team, who is more than happy to assist you.
And not only at the desk, but we have a fairly large staff. We wear uniforms. We wear shirts that say Signature Cruise Experiences. In the evening, we will be wearing regular clothes, but we have name tags, and do not hesitate to ask any of us any questions. That is why we're on the ship. When you go into the main theater, you will see us. You will see us walking around. Any kind of main event, you will see us. We have a future cruise lounge, which is on deck 5, and there's usually 5 or 6 of us sitting there as well. we are very, very visible, and please feel free to ask any questions at any time.
We've gotten a couple questions I may be able to answer. Some questions about the coach and sale. They're wanting to know when they'll find out the time for their pickup and more information on coach and sale. And I can tell you that there will be an email tomorrow to everybody in the coach and sale program with your destination information and anything else you need to know to plan for coach and sale for the Florida residents.
Yeah, we've been doing this a long time. Debbie Daw, who is our Florida ground transportation guru, she sets this up for us. She's been with us forever and really terrific. And most people just really love the convenience of this.
Another question came in regarding reserved seating, and that email will go out next week. They will have their reserved seats in their email. Okay, and then there's one more, and it's good timing. Will there be another Foster cruise?
Okay, here we go. The answer is yes. David has agreed. We're gonna do it a year from now. I mean, a year from when this cruise is. Another 5-day cruise going out of Tampa. David has asked that he present the lineup after the cruise. He wants to get a real feel for what works and what doesn't work. And obviously, David Foster has the ability to create a lineup in about 3 minutes by making 5 phone calls. So we're gonna do that. You'll have an opportunity on the ship to secure your current stateroom or another stateroom for this particular cruise. Actually, we're going to send that out before, but you can complete it while you're on the cruise. You are under no obligation to complete your reservation until the lineup is out. So if you like your stateroom and you like what we're talking about and you're having a good time, then you should reserve your stateroom for the following cruise, and then once we send out the information about the lineup, then you'll have a certain amount of time to complete your reservation. No money changes hands until that time. We're not trying to collect a bunch of deposits, but our company has always been built upon our guests that keep coming back. So folks that are sailing with us, you all have the first and the exclusive right to reserve your current stateroom for the next cruise. Sometime during the cruise, we will then open it up to those who want to get a different stateroom. You can upgrade, you can downgrade, you can side grade, you can do whatever it is that makes sense to you. But again, past guests, they're the most important people in the world to us. Once they become part of our community here, we make sure that we take great care of you, and there are tremendous privileges related to being a past guest, which includes availability, pricing, and other aspects. Anything else?
We actually do have two more questions that I
questions.
think people would like to know. There's a question about, is there going to be a show the night that we don't depart port until 11 p.m.? Will there be a show at the standard time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Every night there'll be a standard red and a standard blue show.
Okay, great. And then the last one, if my friend wasn't able to come to this webinar live, where can they go to find the recording?
They can go to our David Foster website on the book guest page, and you will see a webinar section right there. And both of the webinars will be there in case you have questions that were not answered in this one, but were addressed in the first one.
And if you have other questions, all of you all are on our mailing list. You get jazz notes now on a Wednesdays. You get the weekender on Saturday. My email address is embedded in there. Feel free to email me and I will get back to you. Feel free not to call me because I don't answer that phone, but I will email you back as fast as possible. I can't wait to see you guys. Have a terrific holiday season, and I can't imagine any better way of starting the a new year than 5 days on the David Foster cruise. You all have chosen wisely. Thank you.